this really caught me off guard, not necessarily just because of Sony purchasing Bungie, but Sony purchasing Bungie without an exclusivity pact, which you don't see that in any of these
It's
deals. I mean, we have it's crazy. Like Microsoft has the okay, we're gonna keep doing Call of Duty multi-platform for a while, but like that seems like contractually mandated almost. Like I don't think they would be doing that if they didn't have to, but this like the core of the deal is them remaining kind of independent in a sense. So yeah,
how
it's
many
crazy.
posts were you tagged? And it's like, can't wait to see Paul and Destin's reaction. Nothing changed. Like it's
Yeah, no, well,
still
I mean,
nothing's exclusive. Sony and Bungie said we're still independent. They're like a side studio. But what's actually going to happen is Bungie is going to help Sony make more games like Destiny. But Bungie games are still going to be cross-platform. So that seems like my interpretation of it based on Jim Ryan literally saying that. So yeah.
I mean that's even crazy too. Whereas like I can understand why it makes sense. Like okay, Destiny 2 isn't gonna we're not just suddenly gonna rip that away off Xbox after
Yeah.
7 years or whatever. But like I am a surprise that they also came out and said already that their future IPs are not going to be PlayStation exclusive because those don't have a built-in player base. So that to me signals a kind of greater shift that we haven't really seen before. It's Sony kind of being broader thinking than really we've ever seen them be before. Because I think one thing that's occurred to me is I think all these PS5 supply shortages have kind of freaked them out and like made
Yeah.
them realize how tied they are to like this one box when like they have so many people that want to play their games and like play the newest versions of stuff, and like they're so limited by that box that I think they want to expand into publishing, even if that's publishing on rival consoles, which is something even Microsoft isn't really doing per se.
Well, for so
A
long,
little, a
well,
little bit with Minecraft and stuff, but yeah,
just a quick note on that. For so long, everybody, even I thought Sony had a commanding lead in console sales, and it turns out it's about 5 million units difference.
I said it was 5 million like a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, so it's about a
it's not as
5
much as you
million.
think. Yeah,
Yeah, it's about a 5 million unit difference. And what's happening is I'm sure it would be much larger if the supply chain wasn't all gobbled or messed up, gunked up because of just parts, right? There's not enough
yeah.
semiconductors. So we have a much closer console race, which doesn't really matter anymore. Like it's about where people can play your games. Sony's releasing on PC. Their PC games are really starting to hit their mark. Like God of War reviewed really well. It's a really good port. It seems like they learned their lesson. I believe there were some issues with 7 Remake that hopefully have been patched by now. But ever since then, like, God of War is the main one, right? Has there been a second? I think there was another.
Not since God of War. God of War was pretty recent, but all of their ports,
Mhm.
generally speaking, I think have done relatively well. At least like the major ones, I think have been pretty well received.
Yeah.
I guess it's
So
just a matter of are they going to keep up this system where things are being ported like 2 or 3 years later, as opposed to like the Microsoft way of not only instantly doing it, but also having it be cross-purchase too, which I
yeah,
don't know if they're going to go that far,
I
but
don't
I would
think they'll
not be
do
surprised
cross
to see that
purchase.
window go shorter and shorter in
Yeah.
terms of at least letting people buy PlayStation stuff on PC
I don't
or
think
the cloud.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be cross purchase. I think you're right. I think they're going
I
to
don't think
double
so
dip
either.
on the charges, which is a bummer unless Spartacus ends up sort of addressing that issue and they are just not ready to launch it yet. They did say
That's something with the Bungie deal where okay, so they said explicitly they're not doing exclusives, they're not doing exclusive Sony content. That's
Mhm.
what I've gotten out of them, but like they could just be like, okay, well, we're putting the expansion or the season or whatever on PlayStation Spartacus at tier 3. So
Mhm.
even if they're not doing exclusive content and stuff like that anymore, that could still be a really big bonus for PlayStation players. Like, Lord knows I would, love that. And that
Yeah.
would give them a boost for Bungie games
And
as a native perk there.
Destiny was taken off of Game Pass recently and we were all kind of like that's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe this had something to do with it.
I absolutely believe was somewhat related to that. I mean, I don't know when exactly that decision was made, but I do imagine that was kind of related to this for sure.
I think for me, I gave Sony a really, really hard time last year. They kept doubling down on things that I'm just like, that's not like the way the industry's going, locking your exclusive to a box. And then a few months ago, Jim Ryan said something. He's like, we're tired of selling to so few users. We're limiting how many people can experience these amazing games that we make. And he's right, you know? So I feel like this Bungie announcement comes out and it feels like a new Sony. Honestly, I couldn't believe that Jim Ryan's like, no console exclusivity. We're going to let them come out on Xbox. This is about us making, you know, open world IPs and expanding our horizons basically. And it was just like, is this the same Jim Ryan?
It's crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
I think they kind of finally just woke up and they're like, okay, we do two things in particular really well. We make really powerful, good consoles that people want to buy that will sell out instantly. We also make really great action single player games that will win awards and things, and they will sell a lot of copies.
Yeah.
But they do not have a wide distribution net that Microsoft is like rapidly gaining speed on. Like they're way ahead of Sony so far, and they have the ability to kind of make a wider collection of different types of games like Halo and multiplayer, and like, you know, they're not just doing one thing really well. They're doing kind of a bunch of things, and the studios they're investing in are doing kind of multiple types of games, and some stuff's on Game, you know, everything's on Game Pass and things like that, where Sony's realized they kind of have to break out of their box. Even if they're very successful within that box, it's still a box, and like you are limited by the total size of that. And this is, I think, just one in a number of future steps they'll make in that direction to kind of, I guess, get out of their comfort zone a little bit, and Bungie is supposed to help with that.
And that makes me tremendously happy. Honestly, it's like they snapped out of it and they saw the light. And I think we're going to hear more from Sony in the coming months, probably more acquisitions of smaller companies, maybe not of this size, could be bigger. Who knows? Yeah, I mean, it's really, really great. I really, really love that they are coming to play ball, that Microsoft has a great value proposition. Sony seems like they're going to be continuing to work to offer better services for their users. And it's just going to be a great 2022 for gamers at the end of the day. There have been a few comments, like, let's talk about the Michael Pachter clip. Basically, Michael Pachter said that Sony overpaid and this was them like panic buying. Was that the terminology that he used?
It was, yes.
Yeah, which
it was a desperation or something like that.
Yeah, he
like,
used the word desperation. I don't agree with Michael Pachter in the slightest. A deal that takes this long to do, maybe they paid too much. Like maybe that price point is a bit high, but like you and I know what Bungie has. They have the Destiny franchise, which they're looking to expand to movies, which they're looking to expand to television. And if those are great stories that are told, then you're talking about a whole different medium of experiences that fans and new fans alike can get in on, and that will have a circular effect to their revenue. And the fact that it's multi-platform, like I see the value there. I don't think that 3.6 billion is overpaying. Wow, what a great clip out from Paul versus Destin. If you want access to the full episode right now, it's available to all channel members here on the Destin channel. If you want to subscribe to Paul, you can do so right here. If you want to see one of my recent videos, you can do so right here. And don't forget to hit the subscribe. I'll see you soon. Bye for now, everybody.